Welcome back. This is Calling in the Dark, where I beckon you, the viewers, and my guest into the darkness to share some of the internet's most frightening stories. I'm Eric Towers, and with me I have Chowder and
Hello.
Moaj with me.
Hello.
And what I like to do on this show is read out some scary stories to my friends. So I got one question for you guys. Are you guys ready?
Fuck yeah.
I am so ready.
All right. So this one comes from Reddit, and it was written by Beth Braden. And the title of the story is "It Wasn't a Little Girl." It says, I was camping with my husband and his family at a small remote lake in New Mexico. There was about 10 people in our group and another group of 6 people next to the campsite. It wasn't nighttime, and both groups were doing typical activities, making s'mores, having a few drinks, and telling stories, when we all heard what sounded like a little girl yelling out for help. Neither group had children with them, but we were all positive we were hearing a little girl and decided to search the area. We were positive we were hearing a little girl and decided to search the area we heard the noises from together. There was a field behind our campsites, and we all saw a very tall, pure white figure standing maybe 100 feet away from us in the field, making the noises. We all agreed the thing looked maybe 6 feet tall, skinny and white as can be. We made our way closer to investigate, but whatever it was that we saw started backing off as we got closer, and it disappeared into the trees. At night, we continued to hear a little girl calling for help as we tried to sleep. Oh my god, I got
Oh,
chills
yeah,
reading that.
that's fucking creepy.
It's always those figures that
Yeah.
you see there, man.
Yeah,
But why was it
that's
Holy
white?
fucking
shit.
creepy.
I
Was
don't
it like
know.
glowing white?
Yeah,
Not
I
not,
would
not the
assume
racist term.
so.
I'm just saying,
No,
like, was
yeah,
it
no.
was it like radiating or something?
Yeah. That's, well, I mean, that it varies, depends what you see, because you have like the shadow people, and then you also have like, those full apparitions that you can see like the white light for,
Do you think like
Yeah.
ghosts are segregated too? Like, colored ghosts, just ghosts, white
Yeah.
ghosts. You're seeing white ones.
Well, I mean, I don't know about segregation, but like that is weird that they do appear in various forms, right? Like
Oh
the
yeah,
the
even
whole
the
shadow
orbs.
figure
Sometimes
form. Yeah, the orbs and like
they're like
full body
blue, they're
apparition.
orangey red.
Yeah, and like, that's a question for like a ghost hunter, an expert on ghosts, a demonologist maybe might be able to help with that question too. We'll
Yeah,
look
so
into it.
interesting.
All right, so this is I got another one for you guys. This one's called The Walking Dead, and
Love that
there's
show.
no author on here, so whoever wrote this story, shout out to you. All right, so it starts with, I'm a psychiatric nurse, and early in my career I worked at a residential mental health facility. One of our residents was an uh, elective elective mute, which means that he couldn't talk, but there was no medical reason as to why. He had spoken earlier in his life and in fact seemed quite normal back then, with the exception of being close to 7 feet tall. He'd been raised in the deep south and joined the military when he was 19, but one night he vanished. He was declared AWOL, and eventually he was declared missing and dead. 10 years later, a 7 foot tall man walked into a VA hospital emergency room in part of the Midwest, in my part of the Midwest, and said to the receptionist, "My name is Marin Duchenne." Not the real name, but I've been dead for 10 years. Oh shit. Okay. So, wow.
So the missing person is this same person?
He's claiming to be,
Okay,
and I've been dead for 10 years. That's wild.
so that's
Those
The
were the
Walking Dead.
last word he ever spoke. That gave me chills. Anytime you hear those were the last words he said, or like that was the last time he was ever seen, or something like that, it always sends like a chill down my spine anytime I hear that. He was covered with dust, and he was wearing the same clothes he had been reported to be wearing the night he vanished. His social security number had not been used, and he had no identification on his person. However, they were able to identify him, I guess, via fingerprints, The family was notified, but they said they had already grieved their lost man, and whomever was claiming to be him simply could not be. They determined not to be in contact again. Oh, Marion. My bad, my bad. I said Marin. Marion. Marion paced all day, every day, moving his mouth that looked like talking or muttering, but no sound came out. He had an unnerving habit of throwing his head back with his mouth wide open as if he were laughing heartedly. But not even a breath could be heard. If I talked to him, he appeared to listen, periodically throwing his head back in that laughing, mimicking way of his. Various medications were tried, but they did not affect him either positively or negatively. Occupational therapy did nothing because Marion would just grin unless they told him to stay put. He'd just get up and start pacing again. That's really creepy. That is like super fucking
Yeah.
creepy.
Hmm.
Like,
That's really weird.
shout out to all the workers in who work in like psychiatric hospitals and like the loony bin. Like, it takes a lot of guts to do that, and I'm sure they see a lot of like intense stuff with these people going on.
Can be dangerous sometimes too.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Mhm.
On my last day at that job, the last thing I saw was Marion pacing in the parking lot, throwing his head back to laugh. Later, I wondered if all along I'd been dealing with a ghost all these years. I still don't know.
Yeah, because why
Yeah,
would he be in the parking lot? Wouldn't he have to be in the building, not in the
yeah,
parking lot?
that's
So the
scary.
fact that she saw him in the
Mhm.
parking lot, it's like, wait, what? Like, is it just me then that's seeing this person? But wouldn't the other people have anything to say about that person?
Mm.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
if he, like if he didn't have a job, if his family basically like cut him off or whatever, like how could he have afforded to be there, or does like the government fund that stuff?
I think that's a government funded
Mhm.
place.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense then. But still, I mean, it's still scary to see. Like it's scarier because it like really like I take like I believe this person, right? And like it's scary because it's just like this shit could happen,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I guess it kind of makes sense too in the sense, like in the sense that if it was a ghost, I mean, hence why like the mouth was moving and like all that kind of stuff sounds like laughter, but no actual physical sound was coming out except for the day that he just introduced himself to her, and that's it.
I think it was
You
the
know.
receptionist he introduced himself to. So I don't think she was going crazy, or the author was going crazy.
But was she there when that happened? Because apparently, like she heard him speak once, and that was that same time.
I mean, she said supposedly it was the last time he spoke. So I think probably heard it for
Hmm.
someone else.
Mm.
But I mean, other people must have seen him then, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was
I mean, they were
would
administered
saying
think
to
that they
their
so.
were doing all these
Yeah.
kind of
hospital.
treatments on,
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't
but
give him medication if without a doctor.
true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
All right, I got one more story for you guys. Is that cool with y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one also does not have a author to give credit to. So, this story is called "The Unrest Stop." I was driving across country with my mother and sister when I was 16, and my sister was 20. It was late, but we were all rest. We were well rested, still, and alert.
I
We
don't
were
think you're
driving
arrested,
along, and
Eric.
huh?
I don't think you're arrested.
I know. I'm definitely not. I'm actually very tired. Sure enough, we go on. But we were well rested and still alert. We were driving along an interstate but needed gas and a bathroom break. So we stopped at the only rest stop in 200 miles. There was a van full of teenagers on a road trip at the gas station, as well as a small gray car parked at the pump in front of us, with two young men standing still outside of it. When we got there, everything felt wrong. We had been on the road for days and seen many rest stops at night and had never been afraid until then. My mom and sister went inside and I stayed in the car. I heard the teenagers say they were creeped out and couldn't get the pump to work, and they left in a hurry. I was watching in the car in front of us, and the two men had not moved at all, not an inch. They weren't talking. They weren't on their phones. They were just standing there, still as stone. My sister and my mom came running back out to the car. And when they got in, the two men slowly turned to look at us while not moving or pivoting the rest of their bodies. And I swear to fucking shit, we all saw the same thing. They had eyes dark as pitch and empty, truly empty, not black, not reflecting any light at all, just a void. Okay, so these guys
Wow.
are super sketch. Man, you have them
Yeah.
at every gas station though. There's always that one or two creepy guys that you always have to look out for.
Yeah.
Wow.
What would you do if you saw that?
I would book it, like no lie. Like
Yeah,
I
I
would
go
just
with the teenagers and like, hey, let's get the fuck out of here. Get back in the mystery machine.
Yeah.
Let's go. Just go.
yeah. It's only a gas station within 200 miles. I don't give a fuck.
Wow.
Yeah, I would get the fuck out of there. I ain't even dealing
I
with that
kind
shit.
of know the
Or,
feeling that comes after that.
yeah, or I would go inside and like
In
get
the car?
no, I would go inside the gas station store. Like I'll try to
Hey, I
get
mean, it
someone.
could be one of those older ones that's just the pumps.
Oh, if
And
that was the case, yeah, I wouldn't even bother.
Yeah.
I would just dip. Fuck that.
Mhm.
All right. We sped out of there and didn't stop until we were in the next city. The worst thing about the entire experience, we couldn't find the place on any map. We knew exactly which spot on the interstate to look, and we couldn't find it on Google Maps or any paper map we had. We even asked locals about the creepy gas station out on that stretch of road and got only confused looks. We traveled on that we traveled on that interstate since, and there is no rest stop. Ooh.
That give me chills.
Oh, me too.
Damn. Like,
Oh
Interesting.
man.
See, at first I
wow.
was thinking when they were saying it wasn't on the map or on Google Maps, like, okay, that one can kind of make sense because, like if it's like an outdated location, of just pure desert and whatnot, then okay, yeah, sometimes if it's an abandoned location, okay, they'll just update the map and not show it anymore, things like that. But the fact that they're passing by again and it's not there, like, makes you wonder what that place really was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope, I
Mhm.
know.
Yeah. But a phantom rest stop. That's the first I'm hearing of it. That's original for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah. They said rest stop, but they also mentioned pumping gas. So
And they could be the same.
Gas station?
You
yeah, gas
rest while
station and
you
rest stops
You
are two
rest at the
different
gas
things, buddy.
station?
I don't know, because I always thought the rest stops were just like the place that had like the bathrooms, and then all the trucks just like park there, like in a straight line.
Yeah.
And then gas
Mhm.
stations are obviously gas stations. So
Yeah.
a little,
Hey, some
little
people just confuse
inconsistency
them.
there, I guess. I guess, but no, very creepy though. Like if I did
Mhm.
saw that, I would dip the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I'd be out. Like, no way.
And who knows, like it happens to me too sometimes. Like I'll be like, dude, I swear I saw this place there at this street or whatever, and then you're trying to find it on the Google Maps, but it just does not show up.
Not exist. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. But no, it was cool. It's cool. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. What would you guys think of
Thank
tonight's
you.
stories?
They're really
Little-
interesting.
little
The
factor.
first one too, just like I think different kind of entities represent themselves differently, just come off differently, show themselves differently, or have like a different form. Like
Yeah.
how people say there's us human beings, there's aliens, there's, whatever else, and that every kind of, I guess, species of creature or living being, whether just energetic in another dimension or in our physical one, just shows itself differently to the world.
Mhm. Yeah. That story
Yeah.
that first one did scare the fuck out of me.
Yeah, that was
I mean,
that's really creepy.
the author was lucky that they weren't the only one that saw it. That at least she was in a
Yeah.
group of people. So
Yeah.
With me, it was more like it was that last one, especially the part of the eyes, like being basically just non-existent, just like a pure, I guess, portal to a void, just nothingness.
mhm.
Just
Yeah.
because I can that relates a little more to like a personal story of my own that I've dealt with.
Okay.
Damn. Yeah, it reminds me of a
Yeah.
dream that I've had too.
I
Creepy
wish
as
mine was a
fuck.
dream. That was just a personal experience.
Oh
What
shit.
happened? Damn.
Yeah, just hit
Um.
it.
Okay. So it was my ex was moving houses, right? Uh, and basically it's a haunted house, right? Like weird little things that happen in that house that I know you always felt like you're being watched, right? So this spirit was kind of really mad at the fact that this family was leaving. So aside from what happened the night before, from what she told me, like everything was already moved out, except for like the curtain rack that goes on top of the window, right? It's a big window, and this like big pole that's just there with no curtain anymore, so just the windows, right? The window. And they got flung like that pole got flung across like the living room, all empty and everything.
Right.
And like they obviously got woken up and they went to see what it was, and they found that it was like thrown. Obviously, nobody else lives there. It was just her and her dad. That's it.
Man.
The other family members
Wow.
had already gone out of the house. So the next day, I'm joking around, like we went on a date, went to the mall, went to get some sushi, all that kind of stuff. Now we're going back to drop her off to her aunt's house, which she lives like about 10 minutes away from that house. So like roughly on the same streets. So I jokingly decided to go like, oh, now I'm dropping you off at your house. Ha ha ha. Right, get in front of the house, do the U-turn, and like I just like park right in front of the house. And I'm like, oh, we're here. And like we both look at the house and we just got drawn to the window. And it's a big window, right? Uh and immediate just regret, like, oh shit, like what have I done? It's like just pitch black void, like literally it's like blinking, like staring down like into nothingness. And the weird part is I was telling this story to somebody else recently, and actually it was at one of the podcasts that we do, the podcast. I
Ah,
mentioned this, and I barely realized then that okay, the window has the bars. It's a barred window, so like nobody can technically break in. I did not notice that night though until like I just retold the story a little while ago that nothing was there. The bars weren't there. It was literally just a big old, just a rectangle, just going into the void. Like those bars did
man.
not exist when I looked at it. Like literally, it
Wow.
was just staring into the void, and I had all these emotions. It was like anger, like PTSD almost, like all these like nasty feeling, like I don't know, emotions that like consumed me. And like it was like a split second, like a second or two that we were just there. And after joking about it, and I said just like, how we're here, look at the window, and like instant emotion, like flood of emotions. And I'm like, I think we should go. Like, yeah, we should go. And we just took off, and we were there for like 2 3 days, just like feeling all these like emotions of like I don't know what the hell that spirit or entity had in that house, but all like the like sorrow, like regret, like resentment, hatred, all this stuff was like in like I guess our mentality for a while. So
Wow.
in that story, that's why like that kind of like stuck with me whenever like they noticed like the eyes, like it was just like a void and everything. I'm like, I kind of know the feeling
Understand.
that
Yeah.
relates to that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn. That reminds me of a couple things too.
Ah, man. Oh, but thanks for sharing that story with us, dude. And thanks again for you
Yeah.
guys for being on. And thank you, the viewers, for checking it out. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.